There's a cooler with bottled water just under the tree over here, so please help yourself to that during this ceremony. I'm pleased and honored to introduce our speaker this morning. Master Sergeant Michael Isaza was born in Dublin, Georgia. He's a graduate of Tift County High School, class of 1992. He enlisted into the Army in July of 1992, just 35 days after graduating from high school. He was assigned to Fort Lee, Virginia in May 2011 and is currently serving as the NCOIC of Field Operations Training Branch. He served many places throughout the world and is well decorated. And his decorations include the Bronze Star Medal, Meritorious Service Medal, Joint Commendation Medal, Army Commendation Medal, Joint Service Achievement Medal, Army Achievement Medal, Presidential Unit Citation, Humanitarian Service Award, Joint Meritorious Unit Award, Army Good Conduct Medal, National Defense Service Medal, Iraq Campaign Medal, Global War on Terrorism Expeditionary Medal, NCO Professional Development Ribbon, Army Service Ribbon, Overseas Service Ribbon, and the Air Assault Badge. Master Sergeant Isaza has 19 years of service and will retire within the next 11 years. He has 2 daughters, Catherine and Kaylin, and has been married to his wife Julie for 10 years. Ladies and gentlemen, Master Sergeant Michael Isaza.
Thank you all for that warm welcome, and good morning. I'm sure most of you, like most Americans who come to a Memorial Day observance, are all expecting a speech about service and sacrifice. And I will do my best not to disappoint you, but I decided today to add a slightly different dimension. I'm going to spend a few moments today talking about decorating for Memorial Day. First, it's important to understand the word decorate. Many of us try and generally defer decorating related to someone a little more qualified. But we're going to discuss decorating and how it relates to all of us today on Memorial Day. Secondly, I would like to emphasize that Memorial Day is uniquely American. This is one of the few holidays specific to us, proud Americans. Thirdly, I hope I'm able to share one of the characteristics that I perceive to be one of the nation's best decorations, our internal optimism. And finally, I want you to know how America can truly decorate for this holiday without losing focus on the men and women who made this day possible. Before we celebrated today as Memorial Day, it was formerly known as Decoration Day. To really get the significance of that title, Decoration Day, we must understand what it means to decorate. When I say the word decorate, I'm sure it conjures up images of trees, lights and wreaths, banners and streamers, and flowers. For me, I can't help but think of the scene in Christmas Vacation where Clark Griswold decorates his house. He was determined to have the biggest, brightest, and best decorated house on the block. And he did this by nearly killing himself, blinding his neighbors, and draining the town's power supply. But what does it really mean to decorate? To decorate can simply mean to adorn or to beautify. As a country, we've grown leaps and bounds as far as decorating is concerned. In fact, we virtually decorate everything. Our cars, our houses, and our yards. We decorate for birthdays, for homecomings, and every holiday, big or small. I must say, we're pretty good at it. In fact, last year, Americans spent about $6 billion to decorate for Christmas. That's 4 times the gross domestic product of Belize. But the word decorate has a more noble origin. In Latin, the root decus means pride and dignity, honor, distinction, glory, grace, and beauty. In ancient Rome, a military decoration was all of those things. Roman soldiers were awarded crowns, necklaces, and armbands to wear as signs of their valor. But our military decorations had a more humble beginning. In fact, it was a simple piece of cloth, a decoration that may have saved our Army. At the end of the Revolutionary War, George Washington's Continental Army had been through the ringer. Supplies were scarce and rations pretty meager. In his book, Almost a Miracle, historian John Ferling wrote that the Army did not implode in a frenzy of mutinies long before 1781 was little short of miraculous. Generals had lost the authority to honor their soldiers' courage with battlefield commissions, which up until that point was the only way commanders could reward their soldiers. By 1781, Congress could not even afford to pay existing officers, let alone pay new officers. The faithful service and outstanding bravery of America's soldiers pretty much went unrecognized and unrewarded. So George Washington set out to do something that had never been done before. He created two awards exclusively for enlisted men and non-commissioned officers. Historically, neither the British Army nor any other European army had awards for anyone other than its officers. America's Continental Army was no different. One of the new awards, the Badge of Distinction, was the equivalent to our service stripes, but the other was the Badge of Military Merit. Our oldest military decoration was a simple purple cloth heart embroidered with the word merit. It was awarded for individual acts of conspicuous gallantry. After the end of the war, no federal decoration was awarded to American servicemen until the Medal of Honor was created in 1861 during the Civil War. But on Washington's 200th birthday in 1932, the War Department very wisely revived the Purple Heart. Today, the Purple Heart still bears the word merit, but now the medal is awarded to surviving service members wounded in combat, and oftentimes sadder, it is awarded posthumously. Decorating military service is common throughout the world, and honoring sacrifice is not unique to America. However, Memorial Day is a holiday that is our own unique American holiday. It is unique in three ways: how it began, how it marks the beginning, and how we honor or decorate the men and women in our armed forces. Remembrance Day marks the end of World War I on November 11th, and we will revisit November 11th shortly, but this is the day when many other countries remember the men and women of their armed forces who have died. But for America, we honor those who have paid the last full measure in May. Our day to remember those who died in service did not begin at the end of a war between nations. It was born at the end of a war we fought between our own borders. A war fought between states, a war fought amongst brothers. In fact, as you all know, we are right in the middle of an area rich in military history. Both sides suffered terrible losses, 600,000 dead, but it was the simple act of honoring service and adorning soldiers' graves with the flowers of May that gave birth to what we now know as Memorial Day. Memorial Day, formerly known as Decoration Day, was officially observed on May 13, 1868, because it was not the anniversary of a battle. It was not a day to commemorate war. It was a day to celebrate, to decorate, and commemorate the lives sacrificed in defense of freedom and liberty. In America, Memorial Day is much more than a day to mourn service members. Today marks the beginning of summer, a season filled with life and warmth, and of course we have no shortage of that warmth today. If any of you are like me, as a youngster, I always remember the joy that summer brings, and Memorial Day marked when that summer-long activities would officially begin. It was Memorial Day that would mean freedoms from books, teachers, and homework for the youngsters, and Memorial Day gives birth to summer. Though this day is set aside to remember those who died for our country, it's a day that honors and celebrates life and service. On Memorial Day in my hometown of Tifton, Georgia, like many other towns in America do, it is decorated from top to bottom with red, white, and blue. Even to this day, I cannot smell hot dogs without thinking of Memorial Day barbecue. And you cannot have Memorial Day without a parade. These are not quiet, somber events. Parades in America are fun, true decorations of pride. Families drive to the beach, many on their first vacation of the year, and the skies over many cities erupt with fireworks that do not mourn the dead, but celebrate the season of life and optimism. Our American spirit is decorated with optimism. The Founding Fathers established our nation on the hope that the people, ordinary service members and civilians just like you and I, would guide and shape our nation to prosperity for our posterity. Now that, my friends, is what I call optimism. Our Founding Fathers knew that there would be work and sacrifice if the American experiment were to succeed. John Adams said, and I paraphrase, "It will cost us to maintain this declaration and support and defend these states. Yet through all of the gloom, I can see ravishing rays of light and glory. I can see that the end is worth more than all the means." Just in the last 100 years, Americans relied on this optimism to bring us through 7 major conflicts. And as Americans, as we have always done, we look to the future with optimism, even through the gloom of war. And with each conflict, we draw from that innate optimism to find that at the end of the day, our freedom is worthy of the sacrifices made by the heroes in uniform. We are optimistic people who don't dwell on the sadness of the past. We look for ways to be inspired. We look for ways to be happy. We look for things to give us hope. It's just what we do. I think that's why we like to decorate. We put our decorations up. We look for reasons to celebrate. Finally, Americans continue decorating in recognition for this holiday and celebrate the men and women who made this day possible. Every single man and woman serving in our armed forces today volunteered to serve. These service members and their families are truly the decoration of America's military. Many soldiers, sailors, coasties, airmen, and Marines grew up in the shadow of September 11, 2001, a defining moment for many of us, and thousands of those veterans and their families have endured multiple deployments, never losing sight of their core values: honor, distinction, and pride. Many return home to the streets decorated with yellow ribbons and American flags. Their lives are decorated with hugs, kisses, and handshakes. Saddening, there are others that have paid the ultimate sacrifice, and they return home in a casket draped with the most honored decoration of them all, the American flag. They gave with their service, they gave with their optimism, and until they took their very last breath of sweet air, they gave with their lives. They gave everything to support and defend this nation that was built on life, liberty, and hope. What we do owe them for these ravishing rays of light and glory burning in our hearts. We owe our unwavering support and optimism. We need to keep on having barbecues, parades, and concerts. We need to continue going to the beach. We need to decorate for Memorial Day, and we must continue to share life lessons and why we do this now with our young people. Just as Clark Griswold decorated his house with a grand total of 25,000 imported Italian twinkle lights, we need to decorate our nation with our stories of sacrifice and stories of our heroes. These stories will not drain a town's power supply, but they will light up a nation with pride. Every soldier who has ever been in the Army has an Army story. Every private and every general who has ever died during their service to the nation has a story that needs to be told. Every family member who receives a flag on behalf of a grateful nation has a story that the nation needs to know and behold. Every family member whose lives have ever been touched by a service member has a story that needs to be told and heard by the world. These stories are profound tales of loyalty, honor, and selfless service. Their stories give us strength, and they feed our optimism.